all of our talking before the meeting, we're leaving here in many ways quite satisfied. This was a tremendous victory for the Trumbull County Democratic Party and for Dan Polivka as chairman. Our point all along was that we want the Ohio Democratic Party and Chris Redfern in particular to follow his own constitution, follow the constitutional procedures that are in place when disputes like this arise. And he's been popping off in the media and to anyone who will listen about things that he's going to do and things that he thinks he's done. And we've never been sanctioned. Dan Polivka didn't do anything wrong. The Trumbull County Democratic Party didn't do anything wrong. We want this process to work. And our demands coming into this meeting, and they were contained in a letter that I sent to Chris Redfern a few days ago, were that you have a process in place, you have a constitution in place, stop ignoring it, and let's make the process work. And tonight was our victory because that's what happened. The motion that was made was to appoint an investigator. That's someone who's now going to look into this. We're going to be able to take depositions. We're going to be able to present our side of the story, our briefs, witnesses and evidence at a hearing that'll probably happen sometime between 2 months and 6 months from now. And at that point, we're very confident in our legal position. We're confident that Trumbull County hasn't done anything wrong. And at the end of it, we're still hoping that there can be some party unity. At this point, that's probably going to take an apology from Chris Redfern to the precinct committee people in Trumbull County and the people of Trumbull County who have been very insulted by this entire process and by his attitude. This is a guy, he put in the resolution tonight that they were going to keep sanctions in place that had already been imposed, and yet no sanctions have ever been imposed on the Trumbull County Democratic Party or Dan Polivka. We haven't been put on notice of any sanctions. No sanctions have been imposed. That's the kind of attention to detail that you get from a David Beatrice or a Chris Redfern, and that's the kind of attention to detail that led to Redfern's lack of vetting of the current gubernatorial candidate in Ohio. And it's things in his office are a mess. Things in Trumbull County are just fine, and we've come away with a big victory tonight.
Do you think Redfern should be replaced with the county in his position at this point, given how the statewide elections are going?
As a Democrat, I'm not real happy with the job he's doing or that he's done.
Who would replace him?
I don't know.
Your letter also says that Mr. Polivka has put together a special committee to work on the bylaws of Trumbull's party to put them more in accordance with the ODP and the DNC. So it sounds as though if you're saying that the Trumbull County party had done nothing wrong, then how come now they are going to make modifications to their bylaws?
Well, because there is a conflict between the Trumbull County Constitution and bylaws and the ODP Constitution and bylaws. That conflict has existed for years. That conflict existed in 2006 when Chris Redfern came into office. We suffered the untimely death of a county commissioner, and just days before our scheduled meeting to vote to replace that commissioner, Redfern and his secretary, Mr. DeMora, start making noises about, well, you can't do it this way. Our chairperson doesn't have the unilateral ability to ignore an existing constitution and bylaws and just do things the way these guys in Columbus say they want it done. There's a process that needs to be followed. And Trumbull County's position from the word go has been, okay, we'll take a look at that. In the meantime, we have to follow our constitution and bylaws. And we checked with the Secretary of State's office. The Secretary of State said, your job is to follow your constitution and bylaws. If you do that, I'm going to certify the appointment. And that's what he did.